Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel. JS Dwayne here. Today's date is April the 18th, 2021. In today's video, I want to talk about the video that I did a couple weeks ago on this platform, and it was called Different Beliefs, Different Creeds. And I got this title from a live streaming that I went to, and her name is Brenda Scribbity Doodah, and everybody was talking about their beliefs and their backgrounds and how they was growing up and how it's part of politics. And a lot of people is not comfortable talking about their belief system towards other individuals and the way that it was raised. And it was a part that I left out when I did the original video a couple weeks ago, and it was regarding the LGBT world, the LGBT people. And I forgot to mention about LGBT conservatives, because there are gays and lesbians or bisexual or transgender people that are conservatives, because most LGBT people are liberals. And I was very shocked about that. I would never think that there are some LGBT people that are conservatives. And that really shocked me, because there's some people that are raised in a very conservative environment, and there's some people that is raised in a very liberal environment. And the type of environment that I was raised in a very southern environment, but more towards Democratic than Republican. You know what I mean? And I was shocked when I found out there were some LGBT people that are conservatives. And, at the end of the day, you can't really change, what they think or anything like that. And you can't really change what type of politics that they believe in. Like, you can't really change that at all. If they believe in it, more power to them. Let them believe in it. You can't really go against what they believe in. And I was shocked when I found out about that. And I remember, when number 45 became president, it was this gay couple. One was for Hillary, and one was more for like 45. And we all know who 45 is, and I'm not going to say his name on here, but he believed in him. He was a conservative, Republican, and the boyfriend was a liberal, a Democrat. So the boyfriend, who was a Democrat, broke up with his Republican boyfriend, and I probably would have did the same thing too if I was in that position, because like when you believe in two different things, it's just it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a whole lot of tension. You know what I mean? When it comes to belief systems and politics, you know what I mean? And when it comes to live streamings, I don't like talking about politics on my live streamings at all. Like, I like to talk about random stuff to see how everybody's doing and so forth, but I just don't like talking about politics or anything like that, because there's so many different people who has different cultures and stuff like that is different from my own. You know what I mean? As I mentioned in my last video, there's Muslims, there's Christians, there's Jewish people, or Judaism, there's agnostic people, there's atheists, and there's Buddhist people, Jainism, and also animism. So many different religions that is different from my own. So you can't force your beliefs down other people's beliefs that are different from you. And I wanted to mention that on this video, like I did my last video. And you know, I was shocked when I found out there are some LGBT people that are conservatives. It shocked me. I don't believe that there are some Black Americans that are conservatives, but I believe it was a white conservative, a gay white conservative man who was a conservative, and it shocked me. And it threw me off for a loop. And I guess, not all LGBT people are liberals. There's conservatives out there, conservative people. And I think it's just for me to learn. I just have to do more research and stuff like that. And I think that I'm learning more and more each day about so many different groups of people and so forth and whatnot. And that just part of the video that I forgot to mention in my last video because I think I was just so much in a hurry and I forgot to mention it. So we was talking about that on Brenda Davis's LS a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to mention about the liberals and the conservative people and the Republicans and the Democrats. And I forgot to mention, and there's some people out there that was raised Republicans, and there's some people that are raised Democrats, and there's some people out there that are independents, and there's some people that don't really have a party that they believe in. Because I think throughout the years, their belief systems probably changed based on how they grew up. And I grew up, as a Democrat, and I'm still a Democrat, but sometimes I want to be an independent, so I really can't really make up my mind. But me as an LGBT person, I have very liberal views and never conservative. And yeah, I feel like I was raised in a very conservative environment, but my family was more Democratic than Republican. You know what I mean? We didn't really follow the conservative Republican route or anything, or the beliefs that Republican people have that are very different from the Democrats' belief system. So it's just Republican and Democratic, conservative liberals really believe in very different things. And I feel like sometimes it's hard for me to explain because probably because I'm so young and I feel like that's not really much of an excuse. But I wanted to, bring that up a little bit because I forgot to mention that in my last video. And I believe I remember when I was voting many years ago, I saw this part on the voting paper called the Green Party. And I don't know what the Green Party is. I really don't know. But if anybody know what the Green Party is, let me know on in the comments below. Just let me know what the Green Party is because I seen it on a voting paper about a few years ago. I think about 5, 6 years ago. I seen it. It was about a Green Party. I don't know what that is, but I probably have to do my own type of research. But I think it's just a voting part that deals with Democrat, Republican. It's like having their own type of beliefs that they believe in, and I forgot what they call them. But it's just something that I have to learn, day by day. But as I mentioned, I forgot, to mention that part in my last video, and I'm very happy that I was able to put it towards part two because I wanted to mention it. And there's some people that breaks up with other individuals that don't believe in the same beliefs that they believe in, and it's like to me, you have to, be with someone who has the same common interest towards you, like the same things in common. You know what I mean? Like belief systems or political views. I meant to say political views. Like if your political views are very different from his or her political views, I feel like it's just not going to work. Like I couldn't really get that word out so bad in that video. Like I wanted to get that word out so bad. I was trying to figure what is another word of politics or anything like that. And I forgot to say, what is your political views? Liberal, conservative, are you a Republican? Are you a Democrat? Are you part of the Green Party? Are you independent? Or are you part of no party or anything like that? And I forgot to mention it because my head was just I felt like my head was going out over the place, and I wanted to mention it a little bit. So that's what we was talking about in Brenda Davis LS a while ago. And as I mentioned, a lot of people is not comfortable talking about their political views on live streaming, and I feel like YouTube is not the place for it when it comes to talking about your political views on live streaming or anything like that. I feel like you should have a fun time, talking with people that has different cultures that is different from your own. And I feel like talking about political views, I feel like it causes a whole lot of tension that you really want to avoid. And I don't like talking about that type of stuff on my LS. And you know what? I don't really blame Brenda at all. And I wish that I mentioned this on my last LS, and I feel like I had time to mention it now and so forth. So I hope that people avoid talking about political views in their LS because I feel like there's just so many different people that agree with this thing and agree with one thing and don't agree with this thing and don't agree with the other thing. It's just all types of mix ups where it creates so much tension. And you don't really want that because you really want to be nice to everybody and you want everybody to be nice to you and not having so much conflict and so forth like that when it comes to your political views or your religion and the type of environment or the type of religion that you grew up in when you was a child. And probably there's some people that really don't practice the religion that they grew up in today because they probably outgrew it throughout the years. There are some people that are not no longer Christian anymore. There's some people that are no longer Jews. There's some people that's no longer Muslims, Buddhists, or Hindu people anymore. There's no more. They probably no longer study the religion. And they probably believe in a different type of religion. So it's very different for everybody. And I hope that everybody can follow that example that I mentioned in these videos. That you have to respect everybody's, preference, political views, creeds, sexual orientation, even religion, and so forth, and never judge people because I think throughout the years I had my issue, towards the people and their views. And a lot of people don't know this. When I was younger, I really wanted to become a Muslim. I really did when I was real young. Like when I was 14 and I decided to back away and I feel like it was just not for me, but I think I grew up in a Christian household and I think I just outgrew, Christianity throughout the years and I became an atheist, because, I outgrew, Christianity and I had a brother that was a pastor and still is a pastor to this day. And I just lost my faith towards him. And I just told him numerous of times, like I wish that he was able to talk to me as a brother, not as a pastor. And he was telling me that I can't help it. It's within my soul, and you can't really change that within him. But I told my brother just try, and he's trying little by little, but he can't help it if the preacher part of him come out. So it's like I can't really change my brother belief system and he can't change my belief system because we're very different. We're very different people. And I wasn't raised with him because he's 20 something years older than me. So we're very different people. And he respect my ways and I respect him. You know what I mean? He respect me and I respect him and we're not gonna go back and forth trying to piece puzzles back together to get to know myself or him trying to change who I am because it's not going to happen. And I feel like I'm proud of myself being the type of person that I am. And you can't really take that back from me. And I still love him as an individual. And I love everybody that is on YouTube that is different from me, that is the same sexual orientation as me, that is have differences, sexual orientation that is different from me. I accept everybody for who they are and I love them for who they are and so forth. All right, you guys. Peace and love to everybody. You guys have a very good day, evening, night, afternoon, whatever you guys at in this globe. All right, good day, people, and peace to all.